Pillow Queens, how are you guys doing today?
Very well.
A little under the weather.
Oh, really? Tough.
Day 6 of our tour, and I'm already ill.
Jeez, that's rough.
Day
Day 6 is early.
Me. I know. It's because I was like, we're going to America for the first time. Don't get sick. Then
You
suddenly
need
I
to
was
take
like,
your Pharmaton.
you wouldn't give it to me.
I gave you one.
You give me one.
You
made me reliant on it, Rachel, and now I'm sick.
Actually make any difference. It says that on the pack.
You got me hooked.
How was last night? You were supporting Two Door Cinema Club.
It was class.
Phenomenal. It was really, really spectacular. It was definitely a bucket list kind of gig for us. So it was, still digesting it. Yeah.
Is that the first time you played the Olympia?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how was it? I'd imagine that's a class venue.
Like the sound was amazing. The people were amazing. The lights were amazing. Like it was just everything that you think the Olympia will be. I'm getting nervous for tonight now.
So what's been your favourite venue you've ever performed in?
That's such a hard question.
Yeah, I like them for different reasons.
Yeah, like we do. People ask us like, "What's your favorite gig?" and then that's surpassed by something else.
Yeah, but for different reasons every
Yeah.
time. Like, we love playing like tiny venues that are packed to capacity, especially if people know the words to the song. That's amazing. But we also played like to a huge crowd all together now during the summer, and that was phenomenal as well. And then like obviously the Olympia is incredible because it's such a place that like I grew up going to gigs here, and like all of my idols have played here, so it's like, oh my god, I can't believe we're on this stage.
I think also Other Voices, they're quite mobile, so we've played a few gigs with them, and it's just amazing too that they can recreate the exact same environment in like random locations like Leixlip or Dingle or wherever, so they're all just very special.
Yeah.
We like every place that we play in different ways.
What's been the best show you've ever seen in the Olympia?
Oh, I have one. The best show I've ever seen in my entire life, and I cried my eyes out. It was Sufjan Stevens.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever been like completely overwhelmed by music, and the first time that, because usually when I go to gigs I'm like, oh, I'm having a great time, but can't wait to go home because I don't like standing up. But I just wanted this to go on for ages, and I was just like welling up. My face was getting so hot, and like, yeah, I felt like just a wall of sound and emotion, and that was here. So this is where I had a moment to myself.
I think for me it was Alt J, which was last year, I think.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely stunning, the light show and just them in general.
No, I
So
imagine
it
they're
was
very good over it.
amazing, incredible.
Are you still thinking about yours?
I have a few answers.
I have a
there.
few as well.
Like, I saw Tegan and Sarah here years ago, and like they were just all-time faves for me. So
Yeah.
I was on the stage last night, and I suddenly remembered that I'd seen them there, and I was like, oh Jesus, now I'm nervous. And we saw Courtney Barnett here last year as well, and that was phenomenal. She's incredible.
I am going to say most recently, and now forgive me for this, but Paramore, because they're such
legends.
they're such a great band. They played here.
Like recently.
Remember whenever we did the Rats video and I had to nip off?
Oh,
I
that
going
was
to-
here.
Yeah,
Because I saw them in this free arena like 7-8 years ago.
No, it was really, really special here.
They're unreal.
And then who else? We saw Saint Sister here there last year.
Oh my god, that was
And-
here.
Oh my
That
god,
was
I cried so
gorgeous.
many times just because it was the first time I'd heard the album live and it just
Yeah.
been released, and it was just beautiful. Can I tell you the worst gig I've been to here?
Go on, go wild.
And not because the music was bad, but I thought I was going to die. The bass was so loud. It was Churches. It was.
I heard this.
Oh my god.
So what was wrong? Just the levels
The
weren't.
bass was so high. It was just like shattering me.
Jeez.
Some people are into that though.
I know. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind. Yeah.
You know what that means?
I know what that means. We'll not go into that. Moving on.
What about you guys? What's the most disappointed you've ever been with a gig?
That's so hard.
I can tell you mine if that helps.
I do, yeah.
Kendrick Lamar at Longitude in 2017, I believe. Everyone was
Really?
hyping him up. I was really disappointed, and every other time I've seen him.
Oh,
Yeah,
because I
he's-
heard he plays like in a venue really well, but then in
Yeah.
a festival, it doesn't live up to it.
Oh, It wasn't a bad gig. It was just a completely wrong venue for him. But it was Danny Brown in the Sugar Club.
That's such a weird venue to have.
It was just like, you know, the layout. You're sitting down, you have a table, and you're watching like quite hard rap music.
That seems quite
You feel
uncomfortable.
It was actually. It was very uncomfortable.
Did he write the Da Vinci Code?
No.
Different guy.
Different guy. He has a song with Churches, actually. I think. Yeah. I think it's Churches or another band. I'm not sure.
Churches are great. Let me just.
Yeah.
Oh, they are amazing.
She just can't take. She can't take the bass. So.
Yeah. And yourselves? The most disappointed you've ever been with a gig?
I think the worst gig I've ever been to, and I'm still a big fan, but I saw Rage Against the Machine in the 3 Arena, and I don't like that venue anyway, but the sound was absolutely terrible. There was like cutouts, and it was just like you were chasing it around the whole room. Like, it was just really, and I got a punch in the face that night, totally accidentally. I wasn't in a fight, but generally not a good evening.
Yeah.
I can't think. God, I remember being like really. The only time I was disappointed for a gig was I went to see like the NME tour in the Ambassador when I was like 16 or something, and there was loads of bands playing that I knew one song of and loved, and I was like, I can't wait to see The View. That same Jeans song is prolific, you know. So like that happened, and then the Horrors came on, and I remember just being like, what is this? And just being so offended by it. And they're the only band that are still going out of the whole list. Like, they're the ones that lasted. No, I think they're horrific.
Well, the Jeans probably just withered away, and like
Different band.
oops.
What's the most you've paid for a gig ticket?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I paid like I paid a good bit to see Paul Simon, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And I paid a just as much, if not more, to see the Star Wars Orchestra in the point or the Tree Arena, which
That'd be very nice.
But that was like
That's a special
convention
experience.
and a show. So
that's worth your money.
I paid, I think it was £120 or euro to see the Eagles. 4 days on tour, pounds. The Eagles, and I think it was Croke Park or Lansdowne, I think it was, and it was just
I think, before it became
their energy on stage is so terrible as well. Like they all obviously hate each other, like they absolutely hate each other, and the whole time I was just like, oh, I spent all of my wages on this.
Was this circa 2006?
Probably, yeah.
'Cause I was at those shows and I thought it was amazing. But
Just
I was
from
just
the
out of
sounds of
nappies then, so
State of mind.
possibly.
I have a terrible story that's going to paint me in a really bad light, but I feel like I need to get it off my chest. It's been eating me
Please
alive
do.
for years. So My Chemical Romance came out with It's Not Okay. Was that their first song?
yeah.
I'm not okay.
I'm not okay. Well, obviously I wasn't a fan. But anyway, my friend was a huge fan and convinced me to go. So they were playing in the Ambassador and they hadn't kind of made it big at the stage. So I think I bought a ticket for about €15. And in the meantime, they sold out. So I was like, I'm not arse. Maybe I can make a quick buck. I'm such an arsehole. I sold my ticket for €250. I know. I was like,
It was
I
before
think
the times of
15, though.
Taylor's.
I had no idea of ethics at the time.
That's good.
Thank
You've
you.
done well.
Somebody gets it.
Poor teenagers.
They had too much money, to be fair.
In my defense, the guy that rang me, I put it up and I was like, you know, highest offer or whatever, and this like obviously very rich guy from D4 rang me to be like, oh, my daughter's in love with him. I was like, 500 please.
Wow.
Are you looking at me differently?
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh man, you've been touring with Soak.
Yeah.
How's that been?
Oh, don't ask us because we end up gushing over her for like 10 minutes. She's just lovely. The whole band are amazing. The whole touring crew are just lovely.
Yeah.
And they brought us to new venues and they really looked after us and we had an amazing time and now we're all best friends.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Very
I wear a
nice.
t-shirt under all of my clothes. I'm just always wearing a Soak t-shirt or a bag or both.
To interview Bridie and ask her the same thing, she'd be like, who are they again?
Oh, I'm sure not. Where did she take you?
We did a good few dates in the UK and then we went to Europe and we did Brussels, Berlin, Cologne,
Amsterdam, Berlin. You said Berlin.
Berlin
Hamburg,
again.
Cologne. Was that it?
Yeah, there was
five dates in Europe. We'd never been to Europe though, so
Yeah.
it was
That's a big
fantastic.
deal.
Yeah.
How was it?
They look after you so well over there.
It was epic. We travelled on a big tour bus, and we were
Lovely.
like
I missed
well
the bus.
behaved as well. We watched like Beetlejuice after like the gig, or
Okay.
we'd like play football, during the day, or went swimming and stuff. It was all very wholesome.
Drank gin and water.
Okay, we were drunk the whole time.
Vodka and milk. Whatever was left.
So once you come back from America, your next gig is Puka Festival.
Yes.
It's October 31st to November 2nd in Louth and Meath. Are you looking forward to it?
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Never
I'm
played a
really-
gig at
no.
Halloween before.
In a castle.
Are we all going to dress
sounds
up? We
stunning.
haven't talked about this.
We'll have
Are
to
you gonna
dress
dress up?
We'll definitely have to dress up. We
Absolutely.
have talked about it as soon as we got the news. Kathy was like, "We're dressing up."
I do like to.
Are you going to go for a combined costume? Like a
We'll never
Teletubbies
agree.
combined?
This is like when we try and do a cover song.
As sexy pillow queens.
What does that mean?
I go like that all the time. Will you? Yeah, I don't know. I want to be like very scary. Like that's my thing when I'm dressing up. It's like Mean Girls. You know, dressing up the scariest person possible.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I just want to look like fucked up. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
fair.
want to be like.
I like
a
witty
cat.
costumes. I like people to guess what I am and then be like, I am this, duh.
Yeah.
I went as a water charge one year and I can't even explain that. A water charge, it was topical, and I think I put like
I don't even know what that is.
I painted my face blue and I wore all blue and I put like a minus and a negative sign on my face and people are like, what are you? A water charge, duh. All night long. People are
amazing.
like, that doesn't make any sense.
Would you have taken Halloween seriously growing up?
Oh yeah.
Halloween is
Yeah.
so I'm from Arklow and Wicklow, and the whole town just goes literally
Nuts.
to town on it. It's crazy, but very much in the recent years, it's kind of like, you know, the sexy witch or something. But I dressed up as Bosco, I think it was. I had dreadlocks a few years ago, and I went to town on my outfit. Met all my friends in the local bar. I'd say I was there for like 2 minutes, and I went straight into the bathroom and called my mum, and I was like, I didn't get the sexy memo. Can you come pick me up? I looked fantastic though. Very authentic.
What's your least favourite Halloween costume? A Halloween costume that you see people wearing, you're just like, oh, you didn't.
I know.
Just anything offensive.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
The Joker.
I kind of like that.
It's like, okay,
I like the Joker.
Like sometimes like the movie's out, so I know there's going to be like loads
It's gonna
this
be
year.
everywhere.
But every other year where there's not a movie, they're still going.
Because it's easy.
It's too
It's
easy.
so
It is
easy.
easy.
Or I don't like all the kind of superhero ones. I'm just like, it's a bit lame. Like I'm not into it. I want it to be either funny or like super scary.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
There's no in between.
No.
It's got to be witty or absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, one time I went as Lindsay Lohan, but I had it was when she was in jail.
Classic.
Yeah, so I had a jumpsuit on and I had a giant cardboard cut out of Lindsay Lohan and handcuffs and a little baggie of flour.
All
Or it can be
right.
offensive.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no, it's like, as the years have gone on.
no, I was young at the time. Someone offered to buy it off me, and I was like, "No, it's flour," and they still persisted to like just give me it, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what happens."
Kathy,
if
she would have sold it for 250
yeah, it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen if you snort flour.
I once went as a crayon with 3 of my friends, and they were like, we all made our own costumes. It was a really nice, wholesome activity. But then we all got separated, and I, as the white crayon, looked like a member of the KKK on my own. So I was like, this is terrible, terrible. So they were all fine. I was like, I'm obviously a crayon. This is cute. I was like, I'm taking my hat off. I'm just wearing white. It's fine.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah, boo.
Myself and a bunch of my friends once went as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and one of our friends put so much work into it. We looked unreal. Does anybody else remember that? No?
I didn't know
I'll
you, in
take it.
fairness.
Yeah, I know.
I missed out.
We've all known each other for a million years. It was
Any
very
photos?
good. Yeah, they're all on the Facebook.
I'll go
You have to go back about 12 years though.
We'll put them on the screen now.
Yeah.
Stop showing your age. I've noticed you called it the point. You said 12 years ago. You said pounds. You're not showing that we're like 45. Like,
I'm still in UK land. I think I have a fever as well.
So how did y'all meet? How did Pillow Queen start? I want the non-basketball one.
Okay.
You mean the real story?
You know, there's basketball involved, though. I stand by this.
Some basketball.
There was. The first
I wasn't
time,
there, though.
No. The first time I met Kathy was on a basketball court.
That is true.
So
Okay.
that's
That's verifiable.
only truth of the story.
Okay.
Now, Pamela was there as well.
Excellent.
And
That's true.
then we went for pints, and then we talked about potentially starting a band. And then we recruited Rachel after that because she was our cool drummer, lesbian
drummer
friend.
It's like, who could we get to play drums? I don't know. It was me.
Yeah. So, like, it's just not that exciting. But when you're writing a bio, you have to be like, formed in 2016 on a basketball court, like, in a land far away.
I'm glad you're not selling the creep version of this where I come out looking terribly.
What's creepy? What
Which
did you
one's
do?
that
It was
one?
creepy.
Never mind, I've said too much.
The Bebo story.
Well, back in the good old days when I was about 15, I was putting on some shows in Arklow, so
Oh, yes.
I did my little Googles and I found Pamela's band and Rachel's band and asked them to come to Arklow and stay in my house and play a gig.
Not gonna lie, that's the one I heard.
Yeah, well, that's a true story. That is true.
I wasn't in a band. It was just me on my own.
We have known each other for years, but we all came together officially on the basketball court.
Maybe basically I just was involved from the basketball court onwards, but they've been friends for years.
And talk me through the name Pillow Queens. I know what it means, but tell everyone else who doesn't know.
It's
what
just
it
a
means.
random assortment of words put together.
Well, traditionally, it's from lesbian lore, which just means a person who just doesn't reciprocate much in sexual activities, who just likes to lie there and receive. But anybody can be a pillow queen, really, as long as you don't do much.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to be a lesbian, but that doesn't mean that we're that. So it's ironic.
How did that conversation start? Like, who came up with the name?
We had like a Google Doc going with like
What other names were there?
7,000 names or something.
I can't remember any of the other ones.
There was Pink something, was there?
Pink Whale was like
We're really gunning for that. and we're-
until I came up
Beat it.
until Pillow Queens was on the table, and then I was like, I really want that.
Yeah,
I
and
really
I think
want
we
that.
kept on like we had pillow queens and we kept on being like, okay,
We can think
see
of
if we
better.
can think of something
Yeah.
better than that, and we just couldn't.
And then
I'm
we
glad-
booked a gig, so we're like, we're Pillow Queens.
Yeah,
When I met Kathy, the day that she recruited me, I was like, so what's the band called? And she was like, Pillow Queens. I just burst out laughing and was like, sign me up straight away. I'm joining the band. I don't care what we're like.
Very good. Sarah.
Yes.
In
You nervous?
numerous in numerous interviews, you've been quoted as cited as being the band leader.
Oh,
Is it true that you had the sound and direction picked out for the band before you picked up instruments?
kind of. I mean, one of the challenges when you're trying to get people to join a band is like explaining to them like what's it going to sound like. So we had a Spotify playlist of like influences that myself and Pamela were living together at the time, so we were adding to that, saying, okay, this is kind of what I'd like to sound like, this is kind of what I'd like to sound like, and we were writing songs, kind of demo songs at the time as well.
In the unfurnished house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not unfurnished, it's just huge, so like a normal amount of furniture made it seem like it was unfurnished.
Okay.
But it was actually just really, really big. Cockroaches and mold, but huge, and freezing even in the summer. Bizarre. And yeah, we had some songs, and they all sort of fit into the same genre ish. So we just knew then what to approach Rachel and Kathy with.
I never listened to the playlist you sent me.
You did, because
I
you
don't
said you
even know
didn't
if this
like 3 of the
playlist
songs on it.
existed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now you
I was
love
like,
them.
whatever, I'm just going to listen to Pixies. I've listened to them since. I like them.
Yeah, no.
And talk me through the decision to release an EP before starting touring.
I think it was
Was it a decision?
It wasn't. Like we knew we set up. Our first gig was a gig that we organised
With the rescue
So if that, with Car Rescue,
Yeah.
and I think we needed a release to make people want to come. Like, we'd gotten some great bands to play, so they probably did most of the groundwork, but we're just like, we need a release so that when we're playing, it's not just, okay, well, this new band is playing, we might as well just leave the room. So we're just like, feck it, we'll just release the music that we have right now and hope people like it. And then luckily, like, on our first gig, people were singing Rats to us, so like, I think it was a good decision.
I think it was also important for us to establish our sound as well. Like, a lot of the time we find like we might have, the guts of a song done, but then when it really comes to the floor when you're in the studio, so like we can attribute a lot of that to Peter Ashmore as well. Like, he really gave us a lot of guidance, but I think after that we're like, oh, we're good, we can do this, we can play a gig and we can kind of go for it.
It was a good like ground to start off, that we had songs recorded, even if it was just 3 and it was kind of like they were just kind of demos, but I think it was a good point to start off. If you can do it, I'd recommend to do it. To record just a little bit and then go from there, because then people would just be constantly asking for music all the time. But even after that, you're just like, do you have any more? It's like, just
give a break.
Oh no, absolutely. So that was December 2016.
Yeah.
And then almost a year later, in November 2017, you supported Pussy Riot in the Button Factory. I mean, that's a massive transformation. How first of all, how did you get booked? Like, how did that conversation come about?
Well, Aiken offered it to us. They probably just thought we were a right fit for it.
We met them though.
Yeah.
We met Pussy Riot.
No, we met Simon from Aiken.
Oh yeah.
He got in touch and we organised a coffee, and we were so nervous going to meet him, and then we went to hang out with him and he was just like a pal, and it was just like grand. When you see just like these big promoter names, you're like, oh my god, I'm so intimidated. And he was just so lovely from the very start. And he was just like, what do you have planned? Like, what do you have coming up? And we're like, we don't know. We've no idea. We're just going and taking what we can take and just doing as many gigs as we can, trying to get ourselves known. So the Pussy Riot support came up. And it was that and American football were like really close to each other, and there were 2 Button Factory gigs, and we'd never played anything like close to the size of the Button Factory. And we were like, yeah, okay, give it a go. And they were amazing. Like, the crowd just responded so well to us. It was really lovely.
Did you realise how big an event it was at the time? I mean, this was the most political band of the 21st century.
Yeah. There's 2 of them though. There's 2 Pussy Riot bands.
Is there?
Yeah, they've kind of gone separate ways.
So
there's Nadia has her own kind of band, and then the one that we performed with is more of a, like, it is music, but it's
like a theatre,
it's performance art.
Kind of thing,
okay.
Yeah. So when people say Pussy Riot, I'm just like, did you know there's 2? There's 2
I
Pussy
didn't know
Riots.
there was 2.
But like, mentioned we were where were we the other night? Was it Leeds? And we were outside and we were talking to these 2 lads, and I don't know who said it. There, I think you had a throwaway comment like, oh yeah, we supported Pussy Riot, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
That, I can't believe you just said that in such a throwaway manner. Like, that's huge. And we're like, oh yeah.
That's actually something that like we have just finally sort of had some time, because we're recording the album, to step back a little bit, because since we formed, we've just been playing gigs non-stop because we can't say no to gigs. But as a result, we've never had a chance to kind of step back and go, wow, like, all of these things have happened in a really short space of time. And we've done that recently, and it's just like, oh my god. And it's like, it has only been like, it's less than 3 years, is it? It's 3 years.
It's
coming up on 3 years
in December, like, so it's been such a whirlwind. But like, even kind of the things of opening for Future Islands,
Yeah.
Donnybrook, yeah.
Our first stadium show.
With Idols, like, and that
You've
was
done your
kinda,
homework.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I was there.
I have to study my own life events sometimes. Since Cam Girls, you've released 2 singles and an EP in 2 years. How easy does songwriting come to you?
We have been so busy that it kind of got to the point that we're like, oh god, we're playing a lot of the same music or whatever, and we're finding, when we would get to a practice space, that we'd kind of be rehearsing for a gig. So things were, I wouldn't say stagnant, but we didn't really have the space to kind of, you know, just sit down and not be stressed about the next gig that we were playing. But in the last month or two, I'd say we've got the guts of, we just keep churning out new kind of things. So like when we have the space to do so, it's quite easy to us, I think.
I feel like it's getting easier as well. I feel like we've kind of got more of an idea now how to write songs together, whereas beforehand it was like a Sarah song, a Pam song, and you know, we'd collaborate on it. It's very much more of a whole collaboration now, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely getting easier.
It's a nicer way to write as well. I think like when you feel like you're not just kind of you feel like you're performing a song that everyone's been a part of, and it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Irish charts recently produced a list of the 20 most streamed Irish songs of the year. Soleil's Love Tonight is the only one featuring a female artist, apart from Sarsa.
It is such a banger. Oh my god, it's so good.
Who is it?
Soleil.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
The only one
Amazing
apart
song.
from Circa Dunham, who's a member of Walking on Cars.
Oh yeah.
Why are there so few, or why in your opinion do you think there's so few female Irish acts being streamed by Irish music fans?
Oh yeah, apparently we don't put ourselves out there.
That's just like
Yeah.
a question that's bound to boil blood, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad this has actually come up, because we've been asked this before, and you know, have you experienced sexism in the music industry? And we've always just been like, no, like we've been really fortunate, everyone's been really respectful, but I think the tour just gone, we've encountered several situations, like maybe a review might reference us as cute, or someone from another band might come up to you afterwards being like, oh, you've got nice little guitar bits, and it's just like,
That's very rude.
it's so condescending. And I don't know if we're more aware of it, or if it's just the higher up we're getting. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a gender imbalance for sure. I'm gonna say blatant sexism.
I mean, it is, but it's just ingrained. Like, it isn't. You can kind of tell if you're talking to somebody and they do make a remark, they're not doing it to be
That's
malicious, do you know? And it is kind of worse, because they're just like, oh wow, and you're a woman and you're in a band, like God. And like, even when people have the best intentions, they're like, isn't it great that women are finally up on stage? It's like, but I don't, like, why is that surprising? And like, yeah, of course we are. And the amount of times that we get like reviews or whatever, and people are like, God, they're unapologetic in their performance. It's like,
What does
what
that
are we
even
meant to
mean?
apologise
Yeah.
for? Like, there's no one else apologising for being on stage. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, I find like when people are talking about it, what they want to focus on most is that like we're all women or we're all queer, which is fantastic. But then that leaves less words for them to actually talk about the content of the music, and because they're going on so much about, oh, they're all women and they're all like, isn't it great that they're on stage and stuff? Whereas it's like, okay, but can you talk about our performances or our like anything we put out the way that you would talk about an all male band? Just, you know, we got it. We're all ladies here. Just let's talk about the music a little
it's
bit.
not a novelty for me anyway. I don't know if it's like, I think bizarre that the Irish charts didn't feature more women, because the music scene in Ireland, I think, has such a strong female lineup. Like, there's absolutely incredible female musicians making music, non-binary musicians making music. Like, it isn't a male game. Like, I don't think so. Maybe I'm living in a bubble, but like, I think
It's not, but
female
I feel
non-binary
like-
dominated.
Yeah,
in my experience.
The female artists that are there are not getting the same platform as the men.
Yeah.
Which is really, really sad, but that's kind of...
Because we're just as good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah, better.
Yeah, because there's like a female Ed Sheeran out there that's just not getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
That are probably banging out like amazing pop songs, but just doesn't get played on the radio.
Like, if you see, like, okay, just use like Ed Sheeran as an example. You know, if there was a female Ed Sheeran, there could only be one, because then they'd be like, oh, there's already a female singer-songwriter. Whereas there's so many male singer-songwriters out there that are doing equally as well as Ed Sheeran. Okay, maybe slightly below, but like, you know, doing really well because they're good at what they do, and that's great. But like, if there was a female Ed Sheeran, they'd be like, no.
That's
we
what she'd
already
be
have one
called
of them.
the whole time.
Yeah, she would, yeah.
And how frustrating is it to see, from a hip hop example, we have the and Nicki Minaj, and then once Cardi B came along, obviously they were fighting. I mean, everyone was saying they were fighting. There was no evidence of this until they actually
There was a
physically
video
fought.
of them physically fighting. Yeah, it's gas.
But does media, from the inside, does it really seem like they're pitting people against each other in a way that they aren't with male artists?
I don't think we're there yet. We're not at a point where anybody's going to be pitting us against anybody. Though I can't wait to see who it might be.
Who would you like to be pitted up against?
I mean, I love a good brawl any
Obviously.
day of the week, but no, obviously not. I think we like pit someone against just if they're playing the same type of music, maybe, but maybe don't pit any musician against each other because it's hard enough, you know. It's not. There's enough ears in the world to appreciate all the music out there.
So what Irish female artists would you recommend that we listen to?
Oh my god.
I can't think
Alvaretti.
of one. I'm kidding. Alvaretti, she's unbelievable, and she's got some very good tunes coming out soon.
Sorry, I was trying to talk at the same time.
Oops, your turn, darling.
Alvaretti, she's got some great tunes coming out. Row is amazing. Circa Richardson, Pow Pig, Soak, obviously.
Beauty Sleep, not all female fronted, but beautiful stuff coming out of Belfast.
Kit Philippa, new album just out, incredible.
Girlfriend, I believe, are maybe I'm not allowed to say this, going to bring out some new music soon. They're a great band. You should look them up. Fantastic.
Maria Kelly, incredible as well. There's so many.
There's so many.
And
I
they're
feel
not
like-
hard to find, at all.
I think it'd be hard for me to.
yeah,
name
I would
male
struggle to
artists right
find male
now.
artists. I'd be like, what are they called? The Fontaines? Or something? No,
Jackie
kidding.
Beverly.
Jackie Beverly's amazing. Yeah, she's got a new music video coming out, and it looks amazing.
Have a new single coming out soon. I'm
that's
super
exciting.
excited. Big fan of Bitch Falcon. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, there's so much good stuff coming out.
What was that?
You okay?
Have you any to recommend?
Just kidding.
Amazing.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Oh, Soak, obviously.
We said so.
Oh, okay, good. We have to say so.
It's in the contract. You've said in past interviews that you want to normalise and localise female artists. Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't remember saying that. You've
Yeah,
done
who
better
said that?
homework than me.
You said...
What was the context?
I actually can't remember the context. It was about women being able to see artists that aren't Rihanna and Beyonce, seeing them on a more local level.
I think I remember we were talking about it on the Roisin Ingle podcast.
Yes,
maybe
that's the one, the Irish Times one.
My finger off, I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, you did. Sarah had a terrible accident beforehand.
With the salad.
I think it's just.
My last salad.
She hasn't eaten since. It's terrible. I think. I guess what it means is like if we normalize females being on stage, it's not going to be like, oh my God, they're a female artist. Like it shouldn't be a case that. It just shouldn't be a thing. Like it just shouldn't be remarked on. It shouldn't. I don't know. It just shouldn't be a thing. It's like it's 2019. Like, you know, I mean, like we've all played in bands for years and years, and we were always kind of like the token girl in the band or whatever. But like, fuck that. You know, like it shouldn't be a thing. Oh, male, female. Just normalize it and get involved. You know.
I never have felt like I'm like standing on stage and I'm like, God, I'm a woman. Like it never crosses my mind. Like I'm just like, get up, set up, play the song, perform, get people singing along if you can, like just enjoy the performance. Like I'm never just like, God, isn't this mad? Me up here, God.
I only ever feel like
me
that when
fake Tanner anthem.
when a
oh my
guitar
God.
strap just is in the wrong part of your boob set.
That's, I mean, yeah, and if there, I mean, that's a total thing. Like we have absolutely engineered guitars better for people with bigger chests, and we just don't, because it's just like, no, it's not necessary.
Like I think it's great that people are seeing more females on stage, but like when someone comes up to you after a gig and it's like, oh my God, it's so great to see girls on stage, and it is, and I'm super grateful for that opportunity. But
It's not hard to see.
exactly, just see past that. It shouldn't be a conversation really anymore. It should just be like, your band's good, or I don't like your band, or whatever. But it shouldn't be just honing in on the fact that you're a female on stage.
No, absolutely. You've begun work on the album. Is that correct to say?
Yep.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going.
It is going very well. We have the single coming out November 1st.
Excellent.
Along with a beautiful video, if we do say so ourselves. And yeah, now we're working with Tommy McLaughlin up in Attica, and just every time he just really, really makes it shine. So we're super excited for the end product. We have another week in November to finish it off, hopefully finish it off. But I think we're confident.
We're confident, yeah.
You don't sound confident at all.
Well, I mean, there's
just so much more to it than like recording the album. It's just like all of the other things
other
that
stuff.
need to be done around
that we
just, like,
haven't thought about.
artwork and like PR and trying to find it a home and distribution and all of these things that we need to consider. And
How
it's just
difficult is that?
very
Very.
we kind of get sometimes another question we get asked is like, it's great that you're a DIY band, and we're like, we don't want to be like, come on, have a label take over. We'd love that, and we can focus on just
Make our
writing the
lives
songs,
easier.
recording the songs. Like as much like we love having the input into like videos and photos and stuff like that, but we don't have the skills. Like we just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like to an extent, we're creative by nature, but like the actual technical skills, like we just don't have. We just can't pull it off. So, I mean, we want to work with, there's so many talented creatives in Ireland as well that we want to work with, and it's just like we're barely making ends meet at the moment. So like, how do we do that? So like if a label did come in and was like, here's a marketing budget, we'd be like, amazing, now we can spend loads of money on like creatives and getting all this vision that we really want. And we're so proud of the songs that we'd love to be able to put them out with in the presentation that we'd like.
It's tough juggling everything same time. So are we looking at first quarter 2020, or are we putting dates on it?
I mean, first quarter, start of the second quarter. It's going to be early 2020.
Yeah. But if
All
that
going
doesn't
to
happen,
plan,
I'm coming after all.
2020 for sure, though, I think.
2020 for sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. And have you started thinking about names?
Oh, we've been thinking about it, but it's always just like
As a
ridiculous statements. We're like, let's call the album that.
We should probably start though. So another thing to do.
Where are we going to find the time to do that?
It'll just come to us.
Yeah, I think it's like...
On our 6-hour flight to New York.
Maybe. When we came up with State of the State was when we were drunk in Belfast, and we decided we were going to go for 1 pint, and that turned into 4 pints, and then we're like, let's name the EP, and we all like rolled up bits of paper with the name on it. Do you remember that?
Oh, we remember the night.
Oh yeah.
We do.
Because we had to get a night bus back at like
We'll leave it.
whatever time it was, and it was just like, this wasn't the plan.
Okay. Interesting. You're heading to the States tomorrow, Thursday.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah. Can't wait.
So what are you doing now? Who are you supporting? Where are you playing?
We're playing in a place called Pianos, and that's on Ludlow Street. I bet
we're doing a podcast, just a minute.
What a really obvious knock. What should I just suspect?
I would guess it's James.
Yeah.
Real James knock.
It's nearly 7:30.
Yeah. I'll ask one more question. Is
Okay,
that okay?
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The one I just asked you.
Okay.
What was it again?
Where are we playing in
Where are
New
you
York?
playing in the States?
Okay.
A place called Pianos, and that's
It's in the Lower East Side, or on the Lower East Side.
on Ludlow Street. The only reason I know that is because it's in a Strokes song.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, so when I saw on the map, I was like, "Oh, I know
Amazing.
where that is."
We're playing
Yeah.
it's a showcase, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never played in America before, so this will be our first time. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and we're going to see a dog parade on the Saturday. I think.
This Saturday.
There's a Halloween dog parade on in
No
Brooklyn
way.
this Saturday. Yeah,
That's sick.
yeah,
That's class.
So they all dress their dogs up and bring them out. So
That's a week of Instagram
I
content.
know, right?
yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Pillar Queen. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
your time, and good luck tonight.
Cheers. Thank you.